What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this mortgage loan calculator in Google Sheets. Microsoft Excel has a great mortgage loan calculator, but I noticed that Google Sheets does not. So I want to share this with all of you today. So you can see in this little calculator, we have some loan details, a loan summary, our monthly expenses. Then that will get our total monthly payment and our total annual payment. We have a nice chart showing the difference between our principal and interest as the months go on. And then to wrap it up, there is this nice amortization schedule going all the way down for the 360 payments. And everything here is all connected. If we change, let's say, even the interest rate to 6%, you'll see everything gets updated. Your principal, your interest, that gets updated, your total monthly payment, everything. We even have an extra monthly payment. Say you want to see what would an extra $100 do a month. We plug that in, and then you can see we now went down to only 304 payments instead of, let's get rid of that 100, instead of the 360. So that's saving you almost 60 months worth of payments. And you can mess around with other stuff, like maybe you have a different size loan. You want to see how much would a $400,000 loan be, and then you can see everything update that way. Or maybe you're not looking to buy a house, and we could just kind of get rid of this monthly expenses part, and it just becomes into a nice simple loan calculator. Maybe you want to buy a car. You want to see how much would a $20,000 car cost me. And then this will have all of those details as well. You can see your payment being the same each month, and you can see how your principal will grow each month. Meanwhile, your interest will slowly come down all the way until zero, and you have your loan paid off. But we're going to walk through exactly how to make this and customize it just like this that you see on the screen. So let's dive right in. We're going to open up a brand new sheet. And the first thing I want to do is a little bit of housekeeping. You're going to take the A column and shrink it down like that. And then you're going to go from B all the way to H on the second column. And we're going to, or second row, we're going to want to merge that. You want to take that 1 and shrink that a little. There's just some minor details to make it look nicer. You want to take 3 and shrink that. And now 4, you want to go from B to D, and you're going to want to merge that. And then you want to jump down to 10, do the same thing, B, C, and D, merge that. And then 16, B, C, and D, and then merge that. So we can now punch in some information. Right here, I'm actually just going to copy and paste up here, mortgage loan calculator. That's what we're going to name this. And then right here, we're going to name this loan details. In 10, we're going to do loan summary. And then down in 16, monthly expenses. All right, now for the loan details, we're going to be back up here. What you want to do is merge the B and C. So merge B and C on row 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then row 9, you could shrink that a little. And then for loan summary, you want to do the same deal on 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then you want to shrink the 15. And then a monthly expenses, you want to go from 17 down to 21. All right, now we can start adding some details here. So the first thing we want below loan details is loan amount. Then below that, we want annual interest rate. Then we want loan period in years. And then we want extra monthly payment. Then below loan summary, we're going to want monthly payment, then number of payments, total interest, and then total cost of loan. And then go below monthly expenses, we're going to have property taxes, homeowner insurance, PMI-HOA, then extra monthly payment, and then total monthly expenses. And then if you want, go up to tools and spell check and make sure you didn't spell anything wrong, because I am an awful speller. Look at that, I spelled annual wrong. Well, that was more of a typo. Extra. All right, great. So I am good so far. Now, before we get into all of the lovely little equations, you can clean this up a little. We can center this stuff, and then we could take all of these, and I'm going to shift the text all the way to the right. And then just so we can see what is going on here, I'm actually just going to put some borders around. We'll come back and we'll clean this up and make it nice like how I had in the original one. But this is just so our eyes don't hurt when we're trying to figure out which way we're trying to go here. And then this, same deal. We'll actually bold that. We'll make it a little bit bigger so it stands out. Great. So now the first thing we want to do, well, actually these 4 rows right here, this is where all the information is going to be put in. So there's no equation needed. The very first equation is actually going to be here for monthly payment. So before we even put that equation in, let's just put in some hypotheticals. So say you want a $400,000 loan. Your annual interest, we'll say, is 6%, and it's going to be a 30-year period. Extra monthly payment is going to be 0. And then if you want, make that a $sign, make this a $sign. And now we can jump down to monthly payment. So monthly payment is going to be equals PMT function. So periodic payment for an annuity investment, open parenthesis. So the first thing is going to be the rate. And the rate is going to be D6, which is our annual interest rate. And then you want to divide that by 12 because we're paying monthly, comma, open parentheses. Next is D7. That's going to be how long is the loan, which is 30 years. But we want to multiply that by 12 because, again, we are doing it monthly. Close that parentheses, see, number of periods. Next is going to be present value. So you already may know where this is going. You want to do comma minus D5, which is our loan amount. And then you could close that out, and then you could see our monthly payment we already have. It's $2,398. If we were to adjust this, let's say 5%, you can see that drops. Maybe our mortgage is a little bit less, $300,000. That also drops. So that's monthly payment. So next is going to be our number of monthly payments. Now we're going to have to come back and correct this. For now, we're just going to put in 360 because that's what it is right now. But you'll see why we need to come back to have this extra monthly payment function work. This is going to have an equation, and we're pretty much going to be summing the number of months in our amortization schedule. But for now, we're just going to keep it at 360 so we can at least fill in the other two. And the first thing we want to do is our total cost of loan, and that will end up being equals D11, which is our monthly payment. And then we're going to multiply that by D12, which is our number of payments. So that's how we could get how much it's going to be. It's simply going to be this payment multiplied by the amount of months. Makes sense. And then to get the total interest, that's just going to be equals, this is in the way, D14, so the total that we're paying, subtracted by D5, our original loan amount. So this is how much we are paying in interest, $279,000. People don't realize how much you actually pay in interest for a mortgage. You get 5% over 30 years. You're almost paying the same amount in interest that you are the actual loan. Once you get over 6%, you're paying more in interest than the actual principal. But let's keep going. Next, down here for property taxes, again, we'll put in more hypotheticals. So say $48 for property taxes, $162 for your homeowner insurance. We'll pretend that there's no PMI or HOA, so we'll make that 0. And then for extra monthly payment, all we're going to do is equals, and then we're going to highlight D8 because that's all that field is. And then total monthly expenses is going to be equals, and actually this has it right. We're going to be summing this right here, but we don't want to get that top one. So not D16, we want D17 through D21. sorry, not D21, D20, D17 through D20. And then that's pretty much summing all of this together. So right now I'm just going to make everything the dollar sign. So now we have our total monthly expenses. So now we're not going to worry about the chart or the total monthly payment that I had here in the original one. If I jump back, we're not going to worry about this for now. We're going to start to create the amortization schedule because that's going to be the hardest part. So what you want, and it's going to start on row 23, payment number. So I'm just going to shorten it to PMT and O. Then we want starting balance, then payment, then principal, interest, total interest, and then ending balance. And you can go and spell check that if you want. I'm going to highlight this. Again, we're just going to add borders so it's easier on the eyes for now. And the very first thing we're going to do is jump into our payment number. And that's going to be pretty easy. We're going to start with 1. Now, starting balance is also going to be easy. It's going to be equals D5 because that's our starting balance, our $300,000 loan. Then for payment, what we want to do is equals D dollar sign. You got to make sure you have the dollar sign 11. So here's our monthly payment plus D another dollar sign 8. So our extra monthly payment. So that's how we're tying that in case if there's an extra monthly payment. Then we could go over to principal, and that's going to be equals D dollar sign 11 plus D dollar sign 8 minus F24. So F24 is right here, the interest. And then we can hit enter. And we'll go over to the interest. That's going to be equals C24 multiplied by open parentheses D dollar 6. So we're grabbing our annual interest rate and we want to divide that by 12 and then hit enter. So you can see that's going to be our interest. So here's our principal, here's our interest. You add them together, we get our payment, which is right up here, our monthly payment. And now total interest for now is going to be equals F24 because it's the first month. All we've paid so far is that $1,500. And then last is going to be our ending balance. That's going to be equals C24, which is our starting balance. And we want to subtract that from E24. So E24, which is the principal that we have paid so far, that $298. And now we have $299,701.35 left on our mortgage. So pretty easy for the first row. The second row gets a little bit more complex because now everything needs to stack. But once we get the second row done, the rest is just kind of drag right down. So the very first one here, we're going to do equals if, open parentheses, H24, so our ending balance, if it's greater than 0, comma, B24 plus 1, comma, quotation, quotation, close parentheses. And we get 2 with that. So pretty much what this equation is saying, which is right up here, we're saying if H24, which is right here, you can see my mouse, is greater than 0, which it is, it's 299,000, then do this equation. That's what it's saying. It's saying take B24, which is 1, and add another 1 to it. That's how we get 2. If it's not, leave it blank. That's what that's saying. But because it is greater than 0, we're not going to leave it blank. If we were to drag this down, now it's blank. And the reason why is because now it's saying, is H25 greater than 0? Here's H25 and it's blank, so it's not greater than 0. So that's why nothing's showing up. But if we jump over here and let's just add a 1, you can see now 3 pops up because it's saying, hey, this cell is now greater than 0. But we're going to get rid of that for now. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to drag this all the way down to 383, because that'll be 360 cells worth that we need. And what you can do, unless you're planning on taking out a loan longer than 30 years, you could delete the rest of the cells here. So you just highlight the extra ones, right click and hit delete. So now we only have 388 rows because that's all we need for this. And now we can jump over to our starting balance. So now for starting balance, it's going to be another if statement. Pretty much all of them are going to be if statements. So we're going to do equals if, same deal, H24 is greater than 0, comma, H24, comma, quotation, quotation, close parentheses. So saying if it's greater than 0, then that's the number we want. We want to pull that number. And then we're going to take this, and we're going to do the same deal. We're going to drag it all the way down, and then let go. And we're going to scroll back to the top, and now we're going to jump over to payment. Payment's going to be equals if H24 is greater than 0, comma, D $11 plus D $8, comma, quotation, quotation, hit enter. And then we could drag this all the way down. And then we could go over to principal equals if H24 is greater than 0, comma, D $11 plus D $8 minus F25. So we want to subtract it from the interest, comma, quotation, quotation, close parentheses. And then same deal, drag this all the way down. And don't worry, guys, this is the most tedious part. After we're done with these last 3 cells, the rest is going to be nice and easy. So now I'm going to jump over to interest equals if H24 is greater than 0, comma, C25 multiplied by D $6 divided by 12, close parentheses, comma, quotation, quotation, close, hit enter. Drag this all the way down, scroll back up. We're going to jump over to total interest equals if, open parentheses, H24 is greater than 0, comma, G24 plus F25, comma, quotation, quotation, close parentheses, hit enter. Same deal. We're going to drag this all the way down. And then here it is. This is where the magic happens. We're going to jump over to ending balance. And we're going to do equals. It already knows what we want to do. We want to do C25 minus E25. We're going to hit enter. See how now row 3 just filled. I'm going to take this. We're going to drag it all the way down. When we let go, everything should fill. And there it all is. So now we've created our amortization schedule, so we could finish it up with creating our chart and then our total monthly payment section right below. So that's actually what we're going to start with. The total monthly payment, which is going to be, we want row 18, and we want it to be F and G. We're going to highlight both of that, and we're going to merge. Actually, we're going to merge all of these right here. So those 4 cells, and then same deal right below it, those 4 cells. We're going to name this total monthly payment. And then right here, total annual payment. And then we're going to highlight these 2 cells and merge. And then highlight these 2 cells and merge. And then this is going to equals D11 plus D21. So there's our total monthly payment, and this is going to equal H18, so the cell we just did, and multiply that by 12 to make it a year. So there you go. You can see our total monthly payment is a little over $2,000. Total annual payment is a little over $24,000. Now you can start testing stuff out. Let's drop that back down to 5. You can see how everything updates. Maybe we want to change this to how about, I don't know, $290. You can test it all out. Make sure everything updates. Your extra monthly payment, make sure that works. Looks like everything is working how it's supposed to. And now what we actually have to do is the very last thing. I almost forgot about this. Our number of payments. See how that still says 360? That is wrong. We actually need to change that because when we add our extra monthly payment, we scroll down, you can see this stops at 315. So how do we account for that? So it's pretty simple. All we have to do is hit equals count B24 colon B383 close parentheses, hit enter. There you go, 315. So what it's doing is it's counting every single cell here that has a value, and it counts 315. If we were to get rid of that extra monthly payment of $100, bring it back to zero, we'll have all 360 back. There it is. So this is really neat where you can test out, hey, I want to pay my mortgage off in less than 300 months. How much of an extra monthly payment do I have to do? What about $105? That's all right. Number of payments, 313, maybe a little more. What about $115 a month? 309, we're getting closer. How about 125, 305, 130 is 304. How about 150? There we go, 297. So if I could pay an extra $150 a month towards my mortgage, I will have it paid off over 60 months early. So that's a pretty cool way. You're saving 5 years off your mortgage that way by paying that extra $150. And then you can take it a step further and take a look at your total interest. So your total interest is $172,000 if you pay an extra 150 bucks per month. If you don't, your total interest is $270,000. So just by making that extra $150 payment, you're saving yourself almost $100,000 towards interest. So just a neat thing to mess around with. But now let's create that chart. So for the chart, we're just taking our principal and our interest. So you can highlight these two cells, scroll all the way down, insert chart, and then boom, there you go. There's our interest and principal. Now we're going to format this before we put it into place, and actually could drag this up. So I can just kind of copy it, scroll up, click here, hit paste. There we go. That's easier. And I could delete this one. So we have this. Now we could format it the way we want. So pretty much what I did, instead of bars, this is a bar chart or a column chart. I want an I don't want that area. How about not that one? That's the area chart I want. All right, so we're going to do that. For this, instead of blue, I had it green. And I actually think I did a custom color. I think it was somewhere around there. I like that color. That's not exactly the same color, but you get the point. You get to mess around with whatever color you want. This one, we're going to make it a darker gray, maybe something like that. That looks pretty good. Actually, I want the same colors that I had. Oh yeah, it was much different. Let's see what color this was. So I'm going to copy this, hit OK, jump back over here, custom, paste. There we go, that nice dark green. And let's jump back over here. Let's see what gray this was. Copying that, jumping back over here, custom, same hex. There we go. And our thickness, I think the gray was a little bit thicker. That looks good. And then we will go to setup, not setup, we'll go to customize chart style, and we're going to make this none, and then this none. And now we could shrink this so then it could fit in here. So it was like that. And actually, all of these could expand a little. Okay. Stretch this out now. I'll bring this in a little bit. Maybe right there looks good. And then at this point, we want to view, show, get rid of, oops, could have the formula bar. Let's get rid of all the ugly grid lines. So that's all gone. And now for color, so this is that dark green that I have. and then the text is white, and then all of this is the dark green. So is this and this. All of this down here, these two are dark green. Whoops, not the text. Text is white. That's dark green. Highlight all of this. Wrong thing. Text. Change the text for this. And then same for that. And then let's highlight all four of these. We could center it and then center it. And now I'm going to actually highlight everything and get rid of the borders. So those could go away. And now I may need to jump back here to see exactly what I had going on. Okay, X out of that. All right. So what I did here, see how these are like a white border, and then same with all of these. So if we jump back, before that, I had that lighter green as well. So let's first do that. I don't know if it was that exact green. Again, I want to use the exact same hex color. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put it on these two. Exact same one. And let's see, that was all gray and green. So we can highlight all of this, make it our little custom green. Same with all of this. We can make monthly expenses. I messed up here. Make that white, and then this green. And then this was all gray. Gotta check. Gotta see what type of gray it was. Copy. We jump over here, hit paste. So now we have that really light gray. And it actually looks like it was just that. So it wasn't even a custom one. It was just the lightest gray that we have. Highlight all of that. Make that gray as well. And then actually, so the bottom three cells right here, we're going to make white. You'll see why. Now let's highlight all of this. You're going to go to the border and you're going to choose white. You're going to make the line a little bit thicker. And you're going to do that. That just kind of divides it like that. I think it looks nicer that way. I'm going to do the same thing with this and then this right here. Just kind of divides it, makes it look nicer on the eyes, at least in my opinion. I kept that the same down here, but it looks like on the original one I had it alternating. So then you could go and highlight all of this, scroll all the way down, and then you want to go Format, Theme. No, that's not it. Here we go, Alternating Colors. Scroll back up, and we just want to change the header to our dark green again, and hit Done. X out of that. And then the very last thing that I had was all of this was actually the border was that dark green. And then same with these three right here, dark green border, because that's where you're putting your information in. These three and these four are where all your information's going. That's why I have them like that. Oh, and also to bold them and then bring them all the way to the left. Do the same down here, all the way to the left and bold. Right here, all the way to the left and bold. And then we can bold all of these. And I'm actually pretty sure this was a slightly bigger font. Our little headers should all be bolded as well. And all of these should be centered and bolded. And actually, I think everything here, I like centered. I like pretty much everything centered for stuff like this. So make that all centered. And then boom, that is it. That's everything that we have. Maybe, just to clean up some stuff. Oh, this actually, no, not center, but we want it centered that way. That right there. Slightly bigger font, maybe like a 20. And then I'm going to bring that 1 in even closer. Same with the 3. This is just me being real nitpicky at this point. Bring the A in. Probably going a little bit more. And then I could fix this, bring this a little bit out. And that's pretty much it, guys. Now you have that completely created. And you can mess around with seeing all different types of mortgages. If we actually jump on to Redfin, let's go to another random house. So how about this one for $210,000? So we could see the estimated is 1,125. If you want to test it out, make sure everything's working, let's actually do that. So if we scroll down, here's all the information we have to plug in. So down payment, 80%, which is going to be $42,000. So subtract that from 210, we're left with $168,000. So we're going to do 16800. That would be our mortgage, well, our loan amount. Whoops, we want to do that to the one that we made. So 168,000, hit enter. Jump back here. We could see here's the interest rate, which is 5.054. So 5.054. Hit enter. And then we'll jump down to our property taxes. What do we have? $104 for property taxes. And then what about homeowner insurance? We got $114. 114. And you could see we have $1,125. And there it is, $1,125. So it looks like it works. It looks like it is right. And this is everything that you see here. Again, we could throw in an extra monthly payment. What would an extra $100 do? We'd have it paid off in only $289 a month. $289. We'll have it paid off in only 289 months. So that is everything, guys. That's how you create this mortgage loan calculator. If you liked this video, make sure to smash that like button and check out all of my other videos. But as always, guys, I will see you in the next one.